All persons having any business before this honourable court now draw nigh and give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Queen.
Yes, thank you.
Admission of lawyers. Na Ann.
May it please the court, I move that Na Ann be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Na Ann be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Vincent William Maley Appleton.
May it please the court, I move that Vincent William Malley Appleton be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Vincent William Malley Appleton be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Guzman Bandon.
May it please the court, I move that Kuzman Bandon be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kuzman Bandon be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Gaganjot Singh Bhatia.
May it please the court, I move that Gaganjot Singh Basha be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Gaganjot Singh Basha be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Somi Bobby.
May it please the court, I move that Somi Bobby be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Somi Bobby be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Su Chi Chen.
May it please the court, I move that Su Chi Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Su Chi Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yi Ting Christine Chen.
May it please the court, I move that Yi Ting Christine Cheng be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yi Ting Christine Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kaylee Amber Cross.
May it please the court, I move that Kaylee Amber Cross be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kaylee Amber Cross be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mark Anthony Dehaney.
May it please the court, I move that Mark Anthony Dehaney be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mark Anthony Dehaney be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lujane Fayad.
May it please the court, I move that Lou Jane Fayad be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lou Jane Fayad be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Samantha Ferguson.
May it please the court, I move that Samantha Ferguson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Samantha Ferguson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lillian Fietzer.
May it please the court, I move that Lillian Fietzer be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lillian Fietzer be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Robert James Gay.
May it please the court, I move that Robert James Gay be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Robert James Gay be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Nasser Hamawi.
May it please the court, I move that Nasser Hamawi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Nasser Hamawi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jordan Christian Haradimos.
May it please the court, I move that Jordan Christian Haradimos be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jordan Christian Haradimos be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Daniel John Ivers.
May it please the court, I move that Daniel John Ivers be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Daniel John Ivers be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Samya Marie Curry.
May it please the court, I move that Samya Marie Khoury be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Samia Marie Khoury be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yoongjong Ko.
May it please the court, I move that Youngjong Ko be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yoongjong Ko be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jenny Nijin Lin.
May it please the court, I move that Jenny Nijin Lin be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jenny Nigel Lin be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lee Yun Lin.
May it please the court, I move that Lee Yun Lin be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ye Yun Lin be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yen Law.
May it please the court, I move that Yen Law be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yen Law be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Deirdre Linda McNamara.
May it please the court, I move that Deirdre Linda McNamara be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Deirdre Linda McNamara be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Stefan Music.
May it please the court, I move that Stefan Music be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Stefan Music be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Christy Nakur.
May it please the court, I move that Christy Nakur be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Christy Nakur be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Quincy T. Quinn Newen.
May it please the court, I move that Quincy T. Quinn Newen be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Quincy T. Quinn Ewan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kushal Rajagopal Bharadwaj.
May it please the court, I move that Kushal Rajagopal Bharadwaj be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Lakusha Rajapal Bajwa be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rihanna Roberts.
May it please the court, I move that Rihanna Roberts be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Rihanna Roberts be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Matthew Stewart Rofe.
May it please the court, I move that Matthew Stewart Rofe be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Matthew Stewart Rofe be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Luke Harrison Scrimes.
May it please the court, I move that Luke Harrison Scrimes be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Luke Harrison Scrimes be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kyle Henry John Soko.
May it please the court, I move that Kyle Henry John Soko be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kyle Henry John Soko be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Maria Soyle.
May it please the court, I move that Maria Soyle be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Maria Soyle be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Nelson Sinhang Tang.
May it please the court, I move that Nelson Sinhang Tang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Nelson Sinhang Tang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jonathan Theophilus Chandra.
May it please the court, I move that Jonathan Theophilus Chandra be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jonathan Theophilus Chandra be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mari Carmen Louisa Waiter.
May it please the court, I move that Mary Carmen Louisa Waychar be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mary Carmen Louisa Waicher be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Matthew Oliver Ward Wallace.
May it please the court, I move that Matthew Oliver Ward Wallace be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Matthew Oliver Ward Wallace be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hoishan Momik Wong.
May it please the court, I move that Hoi Shan Momik Wong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Hoishan Monique Wong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Svetlana Zarkovich.
May it please the court, I move that Svetlana Zakovich be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Svetlana Zarkovich be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Zhendong Zong.
May it please the court, I move that Zhendong Zong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Shendong Zhong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ying Zhu.
May it please the court, I move that Ying Zhu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ying Zhao be admitted as a lawyer of this court. Thank you, Registrar. Now that the formal moving of lawyers has ended, I'd like to warmly welcome you to this virtual admission ceremony at the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Present with me on the bench today, to my right, is Justice Ward, who is the Chief Judge of the Equity Division of the Court, and to my left, Justice Hume, who is a member of the Common Law Division. Together, we constitute the court that has, in exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you to practice. As we gather for this celebration, physically dispersed, I'd like to begin by recognising the various traditional lands on which we meet. This ceremony is streamed from the Banco Court, which is located on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I acknowledge these traditional custodians and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. We recognise the long-standing and enduring customs and traditions of Australia's First Nations and acknowledge with deep regret the role our legal system has had in perpetrating many injustices against Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. To all the new lawyers watching today, welcome to the legal profession. This admission ceremony may be quite different to what you were expecting. These are challenging times when you are unable to be admitted in person. However, your admission, conducted remotely, reflects the agility and adaptability which you will need to possess as lawyers in an age of great change. This is a time for celebration. You've all worked extremely hard to get to this point through caffeine-fuelled nights and obscure problem questions, reading countless wafer-thin pages of textbook and more cases than you could hope to remember. You've entered the world of eggshell skulls, encountered the mysterious reasonable person, and have understood that the Constitution consists of so much more than the vibe of the thing. In becoming a lawyer, you have joined a centuries-old profession with ancient origins. The custom of advocates swearing an admission oath dates back to the 12th century. This court first admitted lawyers to practice in 1824, and by 1830 the names of lawyers were entered onto rolls in this state. You have now become part of this tradition almost 200 years later. Perhaps for some of you, that is how long it feels like you've been studying. And for many of you, the support of your family and friends has been invaluable. No doubt they have also been often on the receiving end of your finely polished skills of argument and persuasion. I do hope you take this time to thank them today. The oath or affirmation you have made before this ceremony is a serious one and deserves solemn regard. Whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, or in an entirely different field, you should be known for your honesty, your integrity, and your commitment to justice. It is an acknowledgement of the weighty responsibility that we observe today's unique formalities, including the moving of lawyers and our somewhat unusual choice of fashion. On a lighter note, on one occasion some years ago, a young member of the audience asked if we were doing Santa photos after the ceremony. Regrettably, we were not. However, although we mark this occasion with formality and tradition, not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging. You'll be unsurprised to hear that over the past year and a half, we've had to adapt quite a lot, as you can see today. COVID-19 has meant a rapid shift to increased use of virtual courtroom setups and technology to ensure access to justice continues in the midst of a pandemic. Things don't always go smoothly, as those with me on the bench can probably attest to. There have been real difficulties to grapple with in terms of open justice, effective communication, and fairness to participants. And occasionally a lawyer might even get stuck behind a Zoom kitten filter. But for all the challenges we are facing, the impetus is greater than ever before for us to prioritise flexibility and accessibility. Better use of technology and increased working from home arrangements have profound implications for how our legal systems interact with many people, including those in rural and remote areas, those with a disability, medical conditions, or carers' responsibilities. As the newest members of the profession, you are at the forefront of innovation in the law and have a unique opportunity to see through changes so that justice is done openly and equitably. There are, of course, other changes that deserve attention. When we think of the diversity of the legal profession, we encounter the duality that we have come very far and that much still needs to be done. Though women were originally not permitted to practice, since 2018, women have made up more than half of all solicitors with a practising certificate in New South Wales and currently make up 63% of solicitors under the age of 30. Women occupy many of the most senior positions in the law, including, of course, the Chief Justice of Australia. However, women continue to face challenges of representation, including amongst judges of this court and amongst barristers in speaking roles before the High Court. It is heartening to see the local court of New South Wales has almost achieved gender parity amongst magistrates, but we must not be complacent about these issues. There are other noticeable diversity concerns that we must face head-on. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and people from diverse cultural backgrounds continue to be alarmingly underrepresented in the legal profession, and particularly within the judiciary and the ranks of senior counsel. We must also be alert to barriers to the profession for people from less privileged backgrounds. Law should not be a profession for the wealthy, and the idea that students may be dissuaded from studying law by the cost of a law degree, which this year has again increased, or because of other systemic issues, is troubling. Not just this, but we will only achieve a truly diverse profession when barriers to advancement are broken down and people from different backgrounds are properly supported in a collegiate and inclusive environment free from harassment and discrimination. These issues are fundamental to a just and transparent legal system and to the legitimacy of the rule of law. We need diverse representation amongst advocates and judges so that all people who become involved in our justice system can be properly heard and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of our broader community. Despite these challenges, there is real scope for change. There is far greater diversity of background amongst junior lawyers than those who have been around for as long as me. You are in a unique position as new lawyers who are entering the profession at a time when more than ever your words and actions are having an impact for good. You are being heard and taken seriously when you agitate to correct injustices, whether it be speaking out about unsustainable working cultures, sexual harassment or bullying within the profession, unfair laws, or systemic failings affecting our society's most vulnerable. I urge you to continue to speak up for these things. They do matter. You are the future of the profession and will determine the direction it will take. As a lawyer, you will also need to make difficult ethical decisions at times. With regard to our personal characteristics, lawyers have been the butt of jokes for centuries. Some would say there are, of course, only a handful of lawyer jokes, the rest are true stories. But jokes aside, you must use the tools you have developed to think critically and not compromise on your fundamental duties to the court and the administration of justice and other ethical duties you must uphold. Now that you're lawyers, you can get paid for arguing instead of just arguing for free. Of course, there is a lot more to it than that. You're an advisor, a problem solver, a mediator, and an advocate for the marginalised. As you go about your day-to-day work, remember that you're not merely dealing with the law in a vacuum as a series of abstract concepts, but law as it applies to people's lives. For this reason, you must always strive to deliver legal services competently and fearlessly, with courtesy and integrity. Justice Gageler, before he was a High Court judge, once said, "You must be prepared to give the same answer to the same questions for the same reason, no matter who asks the question, or for what purpose, or in what context the asking may occur. This is foundational to upholding the rule of law." For those of you who will practice law, the way you communicate information to others will have profound consequences for access to justice. For a non-lawyer, law is often incomprehensible. One of your roles as a lawyer will be to make law accessible to others, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, other times by deciphering poor legal drafting, and sometimes both. One thing you will regrettably strike throughout your career is legislation which seems carefully crafted with the object of ensuring that no one can understand it. Your task is not just to understand it, but to explain it clearly to those whose rights and interests are affected by it. As lawyers, we must not keep the law locked up as something knowable only to us. A client reading your advice should be empowered to understand your meaning, not mystified and confused. So be clear and concise in your writing and your speaking. Plain English is powerful. Consider, do I really need to say aforementioned or herewith? Must I sprinkle in that Latin phrase? Should I really use double negatives, split infinitives, tautologies and wordy clauses that take up a whole page? I would suggest to you the answer to those questions is generally no. Bear it in mind when you take out your red pen to review anything that you may have written. The best advocates can make their point simply and succinctly. Some of the most experienced lawyers and judges could perhaps from time to time use that reminder, but don't pick up their bad habits. I also want to speak about failure. I would not be surprised if there were quite a few overachievers and perfectionists watching this live stream today. Even so, at various points of your career, you will make mistakes, some minor, some more serious. When you do make mistakes, your commitment to honesty, integrity, and the administration of justice means that you must take responsibility, correct what you can, and learn from those errors. You must fail at times in order to grow. What is important is that you try not to make the same mistake twice. Even as I myself have made many mistakes from time to time, far too many that I care to remember. And even as Chief Justice, my decisions on occasions, fortunately rare, have been successfully appealed to the High Court. At this point, when that happens, I'm obliged to tell myself through gritted teeth that it's not just a rumour that the High Court is infallible. But in fact, in times, even dissenting judgments become the law. Finally, I want to emphasise that your mental health is extremely important. This may sound unexpected at this type of ceremony, but the law is not everything. There may be times when you feel overwhelmed, burnt out or distressed. If you do, you should not be afraid to seek professional help or take a step back when you need to. Also remember that the law is a collegiate profession, and in times of difficulty, the support of your peers will prove invaluable. I found that throughout my practicing career. Although you might find it hard to believe, I was admitted quite a long time ago. I lost my first case, and I lost many more after that. But throughout my 35 years in practice, I could always count on the other barristers in my chambers to share my disappointment at the unfairness of the verdict, the slight tactics of opposing counsel, and most often, I regret to say, the obtuseness of the judge or judges. I hasten to add, I don't include any of my fellow judges on the bench in that comment. On behalf of all the judges of the Supreme Court, and particularly those sitting with me today, I once again congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The court will now adjourn.